We got some Coke Zero in there if you want. I think so.
you don't have to do anything.
Madam Amobian.
We're going to call the meeting to order, and I think all members of the committee are present. Mr. Kamer, Mr. Neal, Mrs. Swirsky, and Mr. Fusco, who's wearing probably two hats as a member of the committee as well as acting president.
Madam Chair, can I read the notice in for the special meeting?
Thank you very much for
Thank
doing
you.
that.
Revised notice pursuant to Section 33 of the Akron City Council Charter and Rule 1.2 of the Rules of Procedure for the Akron City Council, you are hereby notified of a special council meeting to be held on Tuesday, November 13th at 5 p.m., Planning Committee, and 6 p.m. in council chambers. This special council meeting was requested by Councilman Fusco and seconded by President Somerville. The only items to be discussed are the ordinance amending ordinance number 253-2018 enacted by this council on July 16th, 2018, and declaring an emergency. The second item is an ordinance authorizing conditional use to establish a self-storage facility within the former Macy's at 2000 Britton Road by the Planning Committee. Respectfully, Robert E. Keith, Clerk of Council.
Okay. Ordinance number 1, amending ordinance number 253-2018, enacted by this council on July 16, 2018, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. What you have before you is a simple amendment to the original piece of legislation relating to the Rolling Acres redevelopment that Council passed this summer. The entity, Roaming Road LLC, has acquired some additional parcels, the numbers of which you have in your exhibit, and they would like them included in the TIF ordinance so that they would be eligible to be TIFed as part of the redevelopment. And Sean and I are happy to answer any questions the committee may have.
Are there any questions from committee members? Mr. Swirsky, do you have a question?
Just explain a little bit about the additional parcel of real estate.
Sure. So in order for a parcel to be TIFed as part of a redevelopment, it needs to be included in the TIF legislation. These particular parcels were not in the original piece of legislation that council, because the developer had not yet acquired them. They have since acquired them, and so they wanted them included and TIFable, if you will, which requires council approval. So we're bringing it back to this council for approval so that those parcels can be a part of the larger redevelopment parcel that is able to be TIFed.
Any other questions by members of council? Committee? Are there any questions by any other council members that are present? Seeing none, we are allowed to, do we have to, can we vote on this now, or do we have to move it to the 6 o'clock meeting? Okay. We have a motion and suspension of the rules. Is there a second? Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. The second ordinance is ordinance authorizing, this is a public hearing, so
Correct.
we conduct this the same way we conduct all other public. Okay. I'll turn it over to you, Mr.
Just for the record, I'll read in the public hearing notice.
Sure.
Notice hereby given, a public hearing will be held by the Council of the City of Akron on Tuesday, November 13, 2018, during the Planning Committee at 5 p.m. and a special council meeting at 6 p.m. in Council Chambers, 166 South High Street, upon an ordinance authorizing conditional use to establish a self-storage facility within the former Macy's, 2000 Britton Road.
Mr. Antonucci.
Yeah, I can swear. If you plan on testifying for this matter, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give today will be entirely the truth? Please signify by saying I do.
I do.
Thank you.
Chair, committee members. There we go. Storage of America is proposing to establish climate-controlled self-storage within this currently vacant building. While the majority of the units would likely be for residential users, a portion of the units would be for commercial users. Storage of America is a self-storage developer and operator based in Salt Lake City, Utah. They specialize in ground-up development of big box retail store conversions using minimally invasive, environmentally responsible ways to activate unoccupied spaces. Storage of America right-sizes the building's HVAC and lighting, significantly reducing its energy footprint. Most of the renovation would be done to the interior of the building with little change to the exterior. Ample parking and circulation drives are in place and will be unchanged. There will be no exterior storage on the property. The goal of the Land Use and Development Guide Plan is to promote the preservation and revitalization of viable business districts. This former Macy's building has been vacant for over 2 years. The use of this long vacant space for self-storage will provide a community service for residents and business users alike without imposing on surrounding businesses while helping the mall survive in a changing retail landscape. Both Planning Commission and Planning staff recommend approval subject to conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Antonucci. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Please give us your name and your address and spell your last name, please.
My name is Thomas Fitzpatrick. I spell my last name F-I-T-Z-P-A-T-R-I-C-K. And the address is 2288 Romeg in Akron. I'm the Vice President of Development for Storage of America. And we're making this application as a conditional rezoning of the property so we could use it as a storage facility, similar in nature to what we're using out on Romeg. So I'm here to answer any questions that you have.
Sure. Just a moment. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor? Is there anyone here to speak against? Hearing none, we're going to close the public hearing. Are there any questions by council members of the committee? The committee first, Mr. Kilby. Anybody on the committee with questions? Okay. Mr. Kilby.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam Chairman. Anyways, Mike, I'm looking at the map. Where the entrance between the mall and the old department store, is that going to stay open or is that going to be closed off?
I believe they will have an entrance through to the mall.
Okay, but it's not going to be open, like people just can't walk. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to know. It's like where,
Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Maybe Mr. Fitzpatrick can answer it. Where are the entrances from the old store? Which ones are going to be open? And I guess, is there going to be a lock at the door? If you have something stored in there, do you have to have a key to get in the building and then go get to your storage place? Or how's it going to work?
What our customers are given is a keypad or a key. We install a keypad for access.
Okay.
What there may be in the mall area, it might be a little bit different because there may be some retail right there as the front.
Yeah.
Okay, but then it closes up at the mall, closes up, something similar to that. But then the rest of the entrances would have a keypad access only during certain periods of time. Usually up to 11 o'clock a person can access their storage, and it usually starts at 6 a.m. But then between 8 and 5 p.m., generally, there's a general manager and an assistant manager on staff operating the facility. So all the doors are secured, and then there would also be a secured mall entrance.
So is there going to be 4 entrances, just like the mall was?
We are proposing a drive-through access, similar to what we have on Romeg, where I believe we're going to be requesting for permits, structural permits, to take the west entrance down and build a door that you can drive vehicles through.
Okay.
And it would come out on the east side. So the main entrance would be We're going to have probably an office at where the old credit union used to be. That's what we're looking at, right next to that. And then there would be a convenience and emergency exit on the north side of the building where there is one currently.
Okay, so there's 2 stories, Macy's was 2 stories, right?
Yes, sir.
How are you going to have storage units on both floors, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The stairwells will be still in shape, but we also have the pedestrian elevator, and we have to fix the freight elevator
Okay.
that's in the existing facility.
So what size are the units going to be? Can you give us? And how many are there going to be planned?
Second page. They're not all together. We're proposing on the first floor 440 units, and on the second floor 509 units. The sizes vary anywhere from 5 by 5 to 10 by 30.
Okay, so when you said on the west side, you're proposing eventually want to have a drive-through.
Right.
Is that where people will unload their stuff? And they're not going to go right up, like most of these rental places, you can drive right up to where you have it, but you're going to have unload it there and maybe have a cart or something, take it somewhere?
Our drive aisle is wide enough to park a vehicle, parallel park a vehicle, unload that vehicle, and you can access internally or have a unit that's facing the drive aisle.
Yeah.
And then we have carts as well throughout the facility.
So you're not going to be storing any automobiles indoors, or are you?
Generally not.
No? Okay.
Generally not.
Okay.
If they are, they're like antique vehicles that need to be stored indoors for climate control issues.
So the sizes are going to vary between 5 by 5s and 10 by 30s, the largest one?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And the facility you have up at Rolling Acres now, is that going to stay open or is that going to close?
I am not at liberty to speak on that issue. I can't confirm that, nor can I deny it.
So if everything goes the way you want it to, when is this going to be up and running?
We would like this to be up and running by January.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any further questions? Councilwoman Sims?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess I had a similar question. Ideally, do we think both locations will be open at the same time? Or are we thinking, this seems like a huge undertaking for some of the things that you want to do at the Chapel Hill Mason.
I can say that both of them would be operating at the same time.
Thank you.
So let me ask you this. The drive-through part, is that just on the first floor that you're proposing? Or will you be able to drive to the second floor as well?
Did you only see one page?
I didn't see that.
Okay. We're getting copies. I have a copy for you. It shows the...
First page is the first floor, the second page is the second floor.
So the drive-through is one floor, two floors?
One floor only.
Okay. I was just at your facility yesterday, that's why I
Yeah.
have some sense of how they operate. Okay. If there are no further questions, we will be, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
How many employees should you have there?
Right now, we're looking at 2 employees, and there might be a third for maintenance and things like that. I'm assured, but I know that, yeah, at least 3. Having that entrance to the mall might dictate otherwise, where we need additional 1 or 2 people to run the retail portion of it.
Do you have cameras? I wasn't sure about yesterday. Do you have cameras where you're currently located?
Yes, we do.
Security cameras?
Yeah, we have full camera security at all of our facilities. They're monitored both at the site and then also at our headquarters in Indianapolis as
Oh,
well.
okay. Mr. King?
Yeah, one last question came to my mind, Mr. Fitzpatrick. Is it going to be heated and air
Excuse me.
conditioning? Is there going to be heating and air conditioning in the storage? I mean, or no?
Yes, there will be, it's climate controlled.
Okay.
We usually try to keep it between 50 and 80 degrees.
Okay, so your units will probably rent for a little more than the ones that are outside that are, you know, people don't want their
Right,
stuff
yes.
frozen.
Yep.
Okay, so what, do you guys have any idea, like what's a 5x5 gonna rent for a month? Do you have any ideas about that yet?
That part of
You don't know yet?
the business is not mine,
Okay.
but it would probably be about the same as it would be at our Romeg facility. How much is that? If I had it off the top of my head, no. I'm sorry, I don't have that much information for you.
Okay. No further questions. We will be reconvening at 6 o'clock. You are welcome to stay and be available to answer questions at that time. And without any further questions or further ado, we are adjourned. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Wait a minute, we need to vote on this.
We've been mo-
Oh, that's right, you're on a public, okay, sorry.
We are now adjourned. Thank you.